What's up, guys? Welcome back. As promised, I watched the 3D Blu-ray for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I just wanted to share some thoughts real quick about it. So, as for tech specs here, it's got a runtime of 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's got 2 by 39 widescreen, so you will have black bars on the top and bottom. This 3D Blu-ray is not IMAX enhanced like the old ones used to be. If you want to watch it IMAX enhanced, you have to stream it on Disney+. It's got a 7.1 DTS HD Master audio track. I'm not going to be talking about the audio quality because I was using my headphones when I was watching it. As I've been doing a lot lately, I've been kind of lazy just watching 3D movies in bed. Let's see here. So, I guess I'll just talk about the movie a little bit. This is my first time watching it, and I was surprised on how much I liked it, because I read a lot of bad reviews about it. People saying that there wasn't any character development, that there were a lot of things about the plot that just didn't really make sense. And maybe that's true. I mean, I'm certainly bad at like discovering plot holes and stuff like that with movies, but these are these are comic book movies. You know, I kind of just turn my brain off when I watch them anyways. But the reason I liked this one so much was because it still had just enough humor that like the older movies had, but it was a little bit more on the serious side, and I feel like it really gave Ant-Man a chance to shine and be his own character, because I've always felt like he's kind of like a side hero, you know? He's always kind of like the last person the Avengers call. There's no Avengers in this movie, obviously, but anyway, I thought that there was character growth on his part. But anyway, this takes place after Avengers Endgame, after the blip. He's got a little bit of notoriety. He's written his book, his little biography. He's gotten famous, and his daughter is kind of a genius herself, and she's wanting to do more to help other people. You know, she's like, Dad, why aren't you doing more to save people, like, from all sorts of problems throughout the world? You're an Avenger, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, hey, you know, I helped bring everybody back after being dust for 5 years. Isn't that enough? He's trying to enjoy retirement. And then she uncovers this new bit of technology that her and Hope and Hank Pym had been working on. It's a way to map the quantum realm without even having to go in. And of course, this is how the movie starts, and things go wrong, and they all get sucked into the quantum realm. And this is where we meet Kang the Conqueror, the big bad, the Thanos of the multiverse saga, if you will. If you've seen the Loki TV show, you've probably seen different variants of him. But that being said, I'm not going to say anything else about the movie because I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. Again, I thought it was an awesome movie. It's my favorite out of the three. But you're probably wanting to know how the 3D is. So I was worried that I wasn't going to like it because, you know, I was going to be like, oh, I want to see it in IMAX enhanced. Why don't they do IMAX enhanced 3D Blu-rays anymore? Yeah, that really does suck that we don't have the alternating aspect ratios anymore. But you know what? The 3D in this movie was so good. Ignorance is bliss, my friend. I mean, I didn't even, most of the time, I wasn't even worrying about how some of the picture was being cut off. Now, there probably were some scenes in the movie where, now that I look back on it, the scenes were filmed in a different aspect ratio, and something that was popping out of the screen might have popped out a little more, or it would have looked a little bit more pronounced if those black bars weren't there. But, I mean, it still looked great. So, first thing I want to talk about is the brightness. The brightness, it was a little bit on the darker side for me. The brightness factor has always been a thing with 3D movies for me. I have 2 different presets on my TV. I use, it's an LG OLED C6, I believe, and I use the Expert Dark Room for most of my movies. And then if a movie is too dark, then I'll switch to the Expert Bright Room preset. And both of those 2 presets I actually had calibrated for 3D Blu-rays. So this one, the picture was a bit dark for me. It reminded me a lot of Wakanda Forever, because that one had a dark picture too. so I switched it to the expert bright room, and that fixed things fine. So just bear in mind, you may have to turn up the brightness a little bit, unless you're using an LCD. LCD TVs usually are pretty bright, but OLEDs, they can be pretty dark. They have a lot of deep blacks. But other than that, that was fixable. Then the depth. So when the movie first starts out, obviously he's on Earth. You see Scott Lang walking down the sidewalk while he's narrating what's been going on with his life for the last couple years. And the 3D was awesome on that part. It looked like, he's walking towards the camera as the camera's walking back. And the sides just look like they're, I don't know how to say it, like it looks like a tunnel almost. This sidewalk that he's walking on, that's how much depth there is. It looks like it just stretches into the TV screen, like you could just reach your hand in. And the depth was really consistent. And then once they get sucked into the quantum realm, that's when it just becomes complete eye candy. Think like Guardians of the Galaxy type 3D. That's what we're dealing with here. So when all of them are getting sucked into the quantum realm, they're going down this, like, I don't know, tunnel, different spaceways, or I'm sorry, I don't know the correct terminology for all this stuff. Comic book stuff, So when they're going through this tunnel, this vacuum into the quantum realm, there are so many layers of depth, and on top of that, you have things that are standing out on the edge of your screen, and it looks like they're floating out right between your TV and the living room, whether it be particles or it be Hank or Scott Lang or Hope Van Dyne. They're like flying in their suits, and it just looks like it's just standing out. And when we get into more of the action scenes in the movie, there are so many great landscape scenes. I mean, this is such a beautiful world. I mean, if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, the first one, or sorry, the second movie where they go into the quantum realm, you'll know what I'm talking about. Imagine all those layers of depth, but way better. And the colors are so bloody vivid. It's beautiful. And there are a lot of scenes during the action scenes where there are things popping out of the screen, like people holding up guns. You'll see them protruding out of the screen, or you'll see cannons starting to raise, come out of the screen, shooting, boom, boom, boom. Those are popping out of the screen. There's this really fun scene it's kind of in the middle of the movie, where they're all sitting down at some sort of club, and oh gosh, I can't remember her name. Hope's mom is trying to get Bill Murray's help for something, and then it turns into a fiasco, and they're fighting all these different guards and whatnot. There's this alien creature that has this mouth. It's kind of like a long beak with pinchers. That's what it kind of looks like. And when it starts like snapping its mouth at whoever it's fighting at the time, I can't remember, its beak is just protruding out of the screen at you, and it's just like so yeah, I think I've pretty much summarized how good the 3D in this is. For depth, I'm going to go ahead and give this one 5 out of 5 stars. For pop out, I'd probably give this 4 out of 5 stars. It's not quite as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's just almost there. Maybe if they had included the IMAX aspect ratios, it would have been, but I don't know. Who's to say? But anyway, if I had to choose between watching this in 4K and 3D next time, I'll most definitely be watching it in 3D. I feel like 3D is the only way to watch this movie. It was fantastic. Anything else I could say about it? No, not at the moment. But I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about the movie, not just the 3D, if you've seen it in 3D already, but just the movie itself. Because like I said, I was really surprised that so many people hated this movie. I thought it was great. Maybe it's because I watched season 2 of Loki before I saw this, because I know that's what that was another problem a lot of people had with this, is the King, the Conqueror character, they just didn't quite get his motive or what he was about. And they say that they feel like if they had seen season 2 of Loki beforehand, it would have made much more sense. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Thanks again for watching. If you like my content and you want to see more, please just like and subscribe, and I should be putting out some more soon. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, and Deadpool and Wolverine on the way here soon. Alright, thanks. Have a good night.